people are going to look at me like I'm crazy, right? Because people have lost their faith, their religion, their belief, their faith. They've lost their faith. And when you lose your faith, you lose everything. I mean, it's a strange thing to say, but it's true. You lose your faith, you lose your direction. And as strange as it is, there is more than the physical in the world. There's the metaphysical or the spiritual, or however you want to view the differing levels. And most sickness and illness is a sickness of the mind.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to treat. It's very difficult to do anything. The problem is you can't. The problem is it's difficult to see it. It's not that you can't see it. If you're trained in observation, then you can recognize certain things. But most people are not trained and prepared for such things, so that they can't see it. Yeah. Most people are not. Most people don't know themselves, and if you don't know yourself, you can't really know anybody else. You must know yourself first to understand others, because you must understand why you act and react the way that you do. And then when you understand that about yourself, you can begin to process the same information about other people. And most people don't know themselves very well. It's very sad, but it's true that they have a very one-dimensional worldview, and that is it. They don't see anything more. I believe that history is a never-ending story. I believe that it's cycles of events that in a very similar way come around again and again and again, like the rise and fall of civilizations. It's good, and then people get lazy, and then it turns bad, and then people do nothing, and then it gets worse, and like some kind of horrible sickness or illness, it has to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, it's it's been the same for it's been the same forever. Yeah. I think that I honestly think that there's no answer in the physical world to this. I don't think there's any answer in the physical world. I think all the answers are spiritual. Of course, we do things, but in my experience in the West, we have more than enough of everything. There's more than enough food, there's more than enough clothes, there's more than enough activities, there's more than there's more than enough sports, there's more than enough literature, there's more than enough education. We have everything. And the result is very slow progress. And I think that I think the answer is not physical in any sense. I don't think we're going to find any physical solution, which is really hard for people to process, because if somebody goes to the doctor and the doctor says, well, you need to see a priest, people are going to think the doctor's crazy. Now, maybe they need a doctor and a priest, right? But I think, and that's why I'm reading a lot of biblical text. I don't expect to find any magic answers, but it seems to me that we have forgotten a lot. Not we've just forgotten. We've become an absent-minded culture. We've become we have amnesia as a society. And I read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John from the 4 books from the Bible, from the New Testament. I read quite a lot of other parts as well. But I read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then I read them again. And then I read Matthew again. And almost every line is something important that we have to learn and understand. And going through it, for me, I am thinking, yes, this is important. Yes, this is important. Yes, this is important. Yes, 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 yes. It's all there. Everything we need is there. But nobody wants to look at it. Nobody cares enough to.
People don't read Bible.
Well, that fits into my personal philosophy that everything is distraction, right? Everything is designed to make you look here and not here. Everything is designed to eat your time. And it's not always a bad thing. There's a place for entertainment. There's a place for art. There's a place for sport. All these things have their own intrinsic value within them. But we are missing the point as a society, that we have this self-belief that everything is okay and that we are right, and it's not that way. It's not true that everything is okay. some things. If you have a conversation with somebody
Mhm.
and they can say a lot of things, but maybe one thing will stay in your head. One thing will stay in your head, and it will stay in your head, and you'll think about it, and you don't know why it's in your head, but it stays in your head. But it's there for a reason, because everything is there for a reason,
Mhm.
right? And I've been looking at the lives of the disciples of Jesus. They were all killed. There's a story that one escaped to India and lived longer. Question mark. We're not sure, but the others were all killed. They were killed.
Mhm.
Violent, tragic, horrible, painful deaths.
Mhm.
They were all killed. They were good people, right? They were good people. And somebody somewhere did not want the positive message to get out to the
Mhm.
world.
Mhm.
Somebody didn't want that. And I find this very interesting that this topic is not discussed between people very often. Like why 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 did so many people try so hard to kill so many good people?
Mhm.
And it connects with this idea that people think that everything is okay. Well, I don't know about that. I think we're all a little bit lost in our perception of reality, and that there's a lot that is not okay, and there's a lot of just ignorance, right?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
people choosing to not know and to not care about things enough, to not care, to not understand about
Mhm.
everything. And I posted a quote from newsletter. Okay, let me just read you a little passage. Just a little
Mhm.
passage.
Mhm.
For people in the modern world who are willfully ignorant, means they choose to be stupid. There is no hope. There is no hope. As is written in Revelation in the Bible, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. There is no hope. For people who are genuinely, honestly saved through their faith in Jesus Christ, God's will is that we come to the knowledge of the truth. First Timothy in the Bible.
Mhm.
Then it is as much God's will that we come to the knowledge of the truth as it is that we come to salvation. In fact, Christ taught that for those who genuinely accept the Holy Spirit, that he will guide you into all truth. And we've lost that. It's lost. It's really lost. It's people don't even know where to start, right? They don't know where to start. They don't know where to begin. It's such a big topic for them, and I understand that as well, because it's difficult for anybody to know where to start with such a topic, to know that people are going to make mistakes and they need some kind of forgiveness for those mistakes, and that as I've always said, when two people hate each other, there's no solution. There's no hope in that. We talked earlier about fighting, and I said I'm not fighting, because that's not the answer. The answer is in the truth. That's where the answer is. The answer is not in opinion and misinformation and ideology and conjecture. The answer is in the truth, and the truth only. And we think that we can make the truth whatever we want it to be. We think that we can shape the truth into something, but we can't. We really don't have any power over it. It's ego that tries to shape the truth, because it's ego that says, I know what is best. You are essentially you are stupid, so I'm going to tell you what to think. People who tell you what to think that you're stupid and you can't think for yourself. And we live in a society where most people treat most people as stupid, because all media is designed to tell people what to think. What is good and what is bad, and how to act. And I don't think that we're going to have any, I don't think any of the answers to the problems are anything new. It's crazy, right? It's crazy that the answers are the old answers, but it's true. What is progress, right? You're born, you live, you die. What is progress? You get up, you go to work, you go home, you go to sleep. You get up, you go to work, you go home, you go to sleep. What is progress?
Time things.
Yeah. No, things change. People interact. When we put effort and care into something, things can transform and move. But that's all very much a belief as well. We believe we do good, right? Whether or not we actually do good, it's not for us to say, right? It's crazy, but it's not for us to say. Whether we try to do good, but we're not here to judge, right? Well, we judge, we make mistakes because we're human. But at the end of the day, whether or not a patient who is sick gets healthy a lot of the answers are unknown. There's a lot of question marks in everything.
Mm.
There's a lot of faith and 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 praying and and understanding the truth of the situation. You know, you're sick because it's a manifestation of an unhealthy lifestyle or an unhealthy world or an unhealthy environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's your mobile phone, it's your 5G, it's your washing powder, it's your
Mm.
bleach, you know, it's so here's a little example.
Mm.
I saw this week two men walking in the street. They
Mm-hmm.
had on their back some big plastic container with some liquid in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a little spray. And they were
Mm-hmm.
spraying
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
the
Street.
pavement at the street. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Killing the weeds. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't grow. But killing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these chemicals
Mm-hmm.
go into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
go into the water. Go to the river. They
Food.
go into the sea. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
They they go into the food. They go into the
We
food
will
system.
eat it.
Yep,
Then.
yep. There's no escape. There's no escape. We're going to eat it. And yet these people are happy to spray
Mm-hmm.
chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
and people are happy that they spray chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone is happy. Yeah, it's the
Mm-hmm.
race to zero, right? It's the race to zero. When you have no pollution, you will have no businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just when there's no shit, there's no people. You understand? I'm
Mm-hmm.
so sorry to be so vulgar, but people eat, the food goes through their body,
Mm-hmm.
they go to the toilet, right? Right? Right?
Mm.
So the it's humans. It's one of humans' biggest products.
Yes.
Waste is one of
Mm.
humanity's biggest products.
Mhm.
And you know, yes, live in a clean environment, but here's the contradiction: living in a clean environment it just requires living in harmony with
Mm.
things.
Mm.
It doesn't require doing anything special. It just requires being normal.
Mm. Mhm.
And uh, and I don't know how in the last 2,000 years, I don't know how much further down the road of progress
Mm.
we are, because I read through these Bible passages, and some of them are I understand, and some of them are crazy, and yet there's so much information, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn.
Mhm.
Why read anything else? What is the point of reading anything else?
Mm.
There's nothing is good, you know?
Yeah.
Everything else is a bad copy.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm.
So go back to the source materials and read about the characters and the history and understand who these people were. And, Jesus's hereditary line were murderers and prostitutes, and there's,
Mm.
it's crazy.
Very, yeah.
The whole story is crazy. And I think that the same paranoia that existed, that made Herod the king,
Mm-hmm.
he killed all the children, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because he was paranoid about power and control, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want any challenge to his authority. We live in the same paranoid climate
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where government is afraid of any challenge to its authority. They must crush and beat down
Mm-hmm.
anyone or anything.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you stand up and speak about the danger of a COVID vaccine,
Mm-hmm.